Hello, boys and girls. Fido Day 34, Friday, May 8th. We are doing the Chapter 12 review. It's on pages 921 and 922 in your book. So if you will turn to page 921 and 922. If you need to get your book, go ahead and pause the video and grab your book and open it to 921. Here we go. We are looking at vocab words. We're going to say whether it's true or false. And if it's false, we're going to write the correct answer in if we can. Number 1, a triangle with no congruent sides. That means its first name from the chart, the key concept chart on page 915. A triangle with no congruent sides is a scalene triangle. So I'm going to turn to page 915. I'm going to find the definition of scalene triangle. It says no congruent sides. So a triangle with no congruent sides, that is true. I'm just going to write T. Number 2, a polygon that has 4 sides and 4 angles is a pentagon. Now, I know that's farther back. Let me get you the page number. It's page 904. Is it a pentagon that has 4 sides and 4 angles? A pentagon, look, there's pentagon. It says 5. So that's false. Let's look and see. What has 4? Well, there's 4. A quadrilateral. So this is false. We're going to make an F there. And after it, we're going to write down quadrilateral. Okay. Number 3, sides or angles with the same measure are congruent. If you remember from 2 days ago, I said congruent means same size, same shape, equal. So if they have the same measure, they're congruent. That's true. And a right triangle is a triangle with 2 right angles. Well, let's go back to page 916. 916, key concept chart. Find the right triangle. How many right angles does it say? It says 1 right angle. So this is false. It will only ever have 1. Let's cross off 2, and over here we put 1, or you could even write 1 there so that it makes it true. Here we go. Number 5, name each polygon. Determine if it appears to be regular or not regular. If it's regular, all of the sides are going to be equal. So look at number 5. Are all those little line segments equal length? No. So it's not regular. Look at number 6. Are all of those little line segments, do they all appear, all 8 of them, do they appear to be regular? Do they appear to be congruent or equal? Sure they do. So number 6 is regular. Number 5 is not regular because the side lengths are all different lengths. Number 7, we are not going, we could measure, but I'm going to use my answer key, and it says that all 3 of these are 2 centimeters. So there's 3 congruent sides. Because remember, we have to, it says here, describe the number of congruent sides. Okay. Look at number 8. When I measured this, or when I look in my answer key, this one is 3, 3, 4. So, what do you guys think? 2 congruent sides. Now we're going to go back and I want to name these triangles. So if all 3 sides are congruent, We call that an equilateral triangle. We're just going to write equilateral because we're going to come back and give it a last name. And on number 8, if 2 of the sides are congruent, that's called isosceles. And remember, you can find those names on page 915. Now let's go back over here and let's look at the angles so we can give this a last name. V, V, V. All 3 of them are V's. If you remember from yesterday on page 916, if all 3 of them are V angles or acute angles, the last name is acute. So we would call this equilateral acute triangle. Let's look over here. We've got one angle that's got one of those boxes. That means it's right, a right angle. If there's one right angle from yesterday, we know its last name is right. So this is an isosceles right triangle. Double check your work there. Make sure you're happy with that. All right. Let's go over to page 922, number 9. We are going to name the polygon shown by the video game screen. The screen, boys and girls. See that? The screen. What polygon is that? Well, how many sides are there on the screen? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-sided polygon. Let's go back. It's page 904. A 4-sided polygon is called a quadrilateral. So what is it? It's a quadrilateral. Now we need to decide if it's regular or not regular. In order for it to be regular, all 4 sides have to be equal. It looks like the top and bottom are equal, but the right and the left are not equal to the top and the bottom. So this would actually be a not regular quadrilateral. Number 10, Steve has 3 lengths of fence. He connects them to make a triangular pen, that means a triangle pen, for his dog. If the lengths are 5, 6, and 10 meters, what type of triangle is formed by the dog pen? Well, let's talk about 5, 6, and 10. Are any of those sides equal? None of those numbers equal each other, so none of the sides are equal. If we go to page 915, our key concept chart, no equal sides or no congruent sides make that dog pen a scalene. See how it's scalene? No sides congruent. So number 10, this would be a scalene triangle. Number 11, name the polygon shown by the banner at the right. Determine if it appears to be regular or not regular. So we've got 3 sides. 3 sides. What type of shape, boys and girls? If you're unsure, turn back to page 904. If not, if you know it, what is it? It's a triangle. Now, in order for this triangle to be regular, all 3 of the sides have to be equal. Are all 3 of the sides equal? No, they are not. So this is a not regular triangle. What type of triangle is it? 2 sides are equal. 2 sides are equal, isosceles. All three corners or angles are acute angles, so it would be actually called an isosceles acute triangle. And it's not regular because all 3 of the sides would have had to be regular. Everybody good there? Okay. Let's look at number 14. Last one. An equilateral triangle is folded in half. What type of triangle is formed? Well, let's try to draw an equilateral triangle. We've done this before. Equilateral triangle, and let's fold it in half. So we're going to cut it in half, and let's actually erase half of it. Let's actually erase half of it. That's what it would look like if it was folded, if we're only looking at half of it. This would be a 90-degree angle. So if it has a 90-degree angle, it would be a right triangle. Is that one of our choices? No, it's not. But if it's a right triangle, it cannot be obtuse. It can't be those two. It's either acute, right, or obtuse. So if it's right, it can't be obtuse. Let's look at A, B, and C. Is it scalene, isosceles, or equilateral? Well, it definitely is not equilateral. It can't be equilateral. All right? Because it would, if you look at it, this side is much longer than these two sides. So it can't be equilateral anymore because we cut it in half. So this line right here is half of that, you know, it's half. That line right there is half of that. So what could it be? It could be scalene, it could be isosceles. It could be scalene or it could be isosceles. Mathematically, it's most likely going to be isosceles. This line, which is the height of the original triangle, and this line, which is half of the original length of the bottom, would mathematically, they would most likely be equal. So I'm going to go with isosceles. And before we finalize that, I want to turn back and look at an equilateral triangle. If you look on page 914, go ahead and turn there. There's an equilateral triangle at the bottom. No, it's not. Let's go back. Let's go back to page 904. There's an equilateral triangle right there. And when we cut this in half, this one actually looks like it would be more likely scalene. So I think, boys and girls, that it would be a good choice to say A or B, to choose both of those. Because depending on your drawing, like mine, my drawing, it looks like these two sides are equal. Whereas on page 904, when I cut those in half, it doesn't. So I think it could be a scalene or an isosceles triangle, depending upon what your original equilateral triangle, what its measurements were. And we could get technical and get out a ruler, but I'm okay with having two answers there. If you have any questions, email me. There's no submission today. Yay, yay, yay. I miss you guys. Happy Friday. Take care. If you need anything, email me, amanda.steve@westernbeaver.org. I'll either email you back or I'll give you a call. Take care and have a great weekend.